Hey, it's Natalie.
It's Emily.
Hey y'all, it's Madeline.
And I'm Autumn, and this is TWT.
Hey everyone, welcome to our first episode of TWT. We are so excited for this podcast. I am Emily and I'll be hosting this episode on orientation. With me, I have Anai, one of our special guests. She's an orientation leader. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started with some questions?
Yeah, of course. Hi guys, my name is Garcia. I'm a psychology major here at TWU on the grad school prep track, hoping to get into school psychology. I was born and raised in Aubrey, Texas, so right down the road on 380, about 15 minutes. I'm also a commuter. Let's see. I am part of the Honors Scholar program here at TWU, and I work as a substitute for DIT and IC, and I had the amazing opportunity to be an orientation leader this past summer.
Nice. Well, very studious and hardworking queen, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you for accepting our invitation. You are our first guest, so we're so excited. Shall we get started?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, well, let's start off with some general orientation leader questions because I know a lot of people don't know what an orientation leader is.
Mm-hmm.
And you're an orientation leader.
Yeah, so an OL is basically what the name states. So, an orientation leader, we are responsible for showing around incoming students and their families on the campus and just getting them familiarized with how college life works. Our goal is to help students feel more comfortable and at ease with this major transition that's about to happen within the next few months.
Nice, nice. I heard that there's also a bilingual orientation leader. Are you one of them?
Actually, well, yes, we have bilingual or translator OLs. We have amazing Spanish speaking translators on the team. I'm not a translator, but I do speak Spanish, and there were several other OLs who spoke it as well, and we never hesitated to help translate when needed. So yes.
Oh, yeah, I love that because I know especially if parents go, they have a lot of questions. Yeah, so that's great. How did you apply? How did you get the job? Was it hard?
Okay, so I applied way back in February, and the way it works is that there's a mass email sent out to the student body, and it talks about what it means to be an OL, and it asks you to express interest on a Google form, and then afterwards you complete a round of group interviews, and then a one-on-one interview with Josh Walton, who's the associate director for a new student program. He oversees orientation, pioneer camp, and all of the new student programs the university puts together. He's an amazing person, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity to work with him this summer. Um, as it's hard to get the job. I have to say yes and no. I know there were many candidates this year, and I think we had mentioned it being around 50-ish people who applied, and there was only about 18 OL positions, including 4 translating positions. On top of that, we had 2 awesome OTLs, Jasmine and Cheyenne, who did a great job at bringing the OLs together and making sure we were all comfortable with each other, just comfortable working together as a group.
Wow, so it was a lot. I'm pretty sure you were great if you were accepted. A little bit more personal questions.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it? Give us the tea, be honest.
Honestly, I'd have to say it's hands down one of the best experiences I had as a TWU student. I absolutely loved engaging with the incoming students and watching them become a different person from the first day of orientation, versus the next day when when they finally get to have their own buddy, they feel more confident as a college student, and I just really love seeing that transition in them.
No, yeah, I love about being part of organizations here at TWU. I feel like it gets you closer to everybody and it gives you a different feel, getting involved with the campus. I personally love that.
Oh yeah.
So how long have you been an orientation leader?
I mean, technically I was hired in March and we started training in April, so 5 months, but most of our job was during the summer, so I would say 3 months is the best answer.
How was training?
I didn't expect you to train for that.
Yeah, training, it's actually what we do, we did once a week training for a month, and that we would meet up for 3-ish or 4-ish hours, and we would kind of get to know each other, get more comfortable, truly understand what it means to be an OL. And then at the end of May there's a week long training, where we just had all of the different departments from TWU come in, talk about what they are, what they do, what services they offer students. That way, if like an incoming student or like their families would come up and ask us like, hey, I have this situation, like how could I go about it? We would like have the training, have the ability to let them know, guide them in the right direction.
Nice. So it seems like you had a busy. Did you also take any summer classes?
No, thank goodness I already graduating early as it is. I did not need to add any summer classes on top of that.
Okay, great. When are you graduating?
I graduate fall of 2023.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So
is
next
that
fall.
next fall?
Yeah, yeah.
Honestly, ever since COVID, like time, like I don't even know how to keep track of time. So yeah, my bad. Yeah, that's
No,
fair.
you're good. I'm the same way. I'm like, I'm only gonna be in college for 2.5 years. Like that's insane to me.
That is insane. You should be so like proud of yourself. I'm
I
proud of
know.
you.
Oh, thank you. I kind of want to elongate it, but oh well. Whatever it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it hard to balance being orientation leader while also like having fun during summer? Because so how was it
Well,
for you?
I mean, yes, I 100% feel like this summer flew by so quickly, especially because like orientations were pretty close together and they took up a lot of our time, with being like up for 18 hours like on the first day and then getting only a few hours of sleep and then going on in the second day. So I spent a lot of my time outside of orientation just focusing on sleep and like relaxation.
No, yeah, 18 hours, that's a lot. What would they make y'all do?
Yeah, the CSD office was very kind and they offered us like meals and dining dollars, so that was
Oh,
really appreciated. 18, I mean, we would meet up together at 6:30 and then technically we would go to bed around 11 because we would offer late night programs for the first year students. So in between the whole day, we were busy the entire time, so it kind of just flew by. You don't really notice it until you start to wind down.
yeah, yeah. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
What was your favorite memory?
Let's see. I definitely enjoyed interacting with the incoming students, but I'd have to say that my favorite memories about the job itself was being able to be part of such an amazing team and being able to get to know everyone individually. Like I knew every single OL. I know many other universities have like different OLs for each session, and I just thought it was kind of cool that we all had the same OLs throughout each session. So I got to know everyone individually and in depth. Um, I can't honestly say I have one favorite memory, but one of the top ones would have to be when one of our OTLs hosted like a pool party and most of us were able to go and just hang out, have fun and just bond. So that was pretty good.
Oh, that sounds like so much fun. And I'm like really thankful for like my coworkers as well for the rest of the TWU influencers. At
Hmm.
first, I was like pretty scared when I first met them. And then like with time, like I don't know, we became like so close. Every single time we're together, like laughing and everything, and it's so fun. So yeah, I feel like the bond that you make with your coworkers, like you forget that they're your coworkers. It's like and then
Exactly.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that about TWU because it's a small campus, so you really work really closely with one another. It's not like, oh, you can just send us an email like this. It's like in-person connections, which is what I really like about this.
Yeah, that's something I love about TWU. I was switching up a little bit to like general questions about orientation. I know orientation is mandatory for first years, but in your opinion, what are some of the reasons why you would recommend going to orientation?
Honestly, I'd say the top reason to go to orientation would have to be definitely the informational sessions that we offer. But aside from just like the nitty gritty like work of the college, you really meet some amazing people. You're exposed to such a new atmosphere. And what I really liked about my orientation was that I met like some of my best friends there. Like I still talk to them every single day. Like we have lunch, we go to the gym together. And that's what I really like about orientation because it exposes you to such a new world, such a new level of people that you haven't really been exposed to or like you understand new cultures. I don't know, you're just kind of thrown at with the new world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say I relate just because my orientation was online. I don't know if yours was
Oh, yeah, no, that totally was it was crazy. Mine was half online and then they offered like drive-through sessions, which I was really thankful for because I would have
drive.
been so lost. Yeah, they called them drive-through sessions because it was only one day and it was only for a couple of hours.
Oh, wow. No,
Yeah.
yeah, mine online. Like literally you just like it gave you like a PowerPoint and you just basically kind of like skip through it if I'm being honest, because like you just had to read. And that was
Yeah.
basically well, I know it's like a lot different now, but we'll cover that a little bit later on in
Okay.
the podcast. Um, so how many days is like orientation? Because I really like I as I said I didn't attend a quote unquote orientation just because it wasn't in person. So how many days is it?
Right. Okay, well, for first year students, it's a 2-day stay and it includes like a mandatory overnight stay. And then we
Mm-hmm.
offer transfer orientations, which is 1 day, kind of like a 9 to 5 situation or 12 to 5.
Okay. And now I'm asking a question that I know a lot of people are probably like wondering and like asking or are you gonna end up asking. What about the people that are like far away, like that come to campus but they're from like out of town and stuff? What if they can't make it, or what if it's like kind of expensive for them to make it? Because you know how like now like gas is so expensive, flights are so expensive, and we I know TWU does have like students from like really far, from
Mhm.
like really like for example, my friend, her roommates from Hong Kong,
Oh,
so
wow.
like I know like for her it wouldn't really be is that honestly I haven't even asked her how orientation went for her, but I know for her it wouldn't really be easy to just like come go to orientation, then go back, and then come again for like
Right.
move-in. What if
Right.
to like actually come for like in-person orientation? Do like does CBU offer like online orientation for them, or are they like exempt, or like what goes on with that?
Well, since orientation is mandatory for first year students, they are still required to participate, even if they live far away. Of course, if there's like a really specific situation, you are more than welcome to contact Josh, like for any specific questions. But either way, you must participate in orientation, like in one way or another. And especially now that we're getting out of like the COVID situations, we're really pushing for more in-person events. So coming to orientation in person would be a really like big mandatory thing for students.
No, yeah. I feel like if anything, if you do have trouble with it, like for example, if you're from like Hong Kong or something like
Right.
that, like call and like let them know, and like they'll probably offer you like online or something. I feel like TW is pretty like understandable. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day we're all human beings and they understand. And that's
Hmm.
something I've really noticed about like our admissions team and stuff. They're like so friendly, and I feel like I was scared at first when I first like got introduced to them, but no, they're like so friendly, so understandable. So I don't think y'all should be nervous if y'all feel like y'all can
Yeah.
make, or if y'all have any questions, like y'all can like just call. Like they're always like answering phone calls, and like they're always here for you. So don't be scared.
No, yeah, and I think this goes for like every department at TWU. Like everybody here is so friendly, so kind and caring, like compassionate. So I have no doubt that like if you called or emailed with that specific situation, we would help you like find other ways to get around it or help you out at the end.
Well, that's really good to know.
Yeah.
So you already mentioned what some of the reasons why you think going to orientation is like a priority, well, should be a priority. But what else can students expect from more?
Okay, well, orientation really covers the important parts of like college information, such as like degree planning, academic concerns, student support programs, housing and food services, commuter information, and a lot more. That's just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. And of course, students can be expected to be introduced to a new world full of opportunities and new friends as well. I know many students this past summer who like made friends with other incoming students during orientation, and I've seen them walking around with those people like on campus this fall. So that's really nice.
Yeah, that's
And yeah, uh, we just really want to help students kind of like come out of their shell a little bit and truly get to experience what TW is about before even starting their classes.
no, yeah, I feel like that'll be like a great way to like get to know people, because like I know
Hmm.
after these like because you don't know what to expect, you don't know if you're gonna make friends, and I
Yeah.
feel like first everybody's like on the same boat. Like you don't really know people, so it'll be like
Yeah.
a cool. first days to like meet people and just chill without really having to worry about classes and just that feeling about being on campus and just like looking around and knowing a little bit more information about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, at orientation, are you able to like sign up for classes, like questions, like if you need help with like financial aid, do y'all have like any like resources like that at orientation?
Yes, absolutely. So how it works is at the end of orientation, after like for first years, it's after the 2 days, students will be taken to like their registration session where they're going to
Mhm.
take a, like a final look over the courses that have been planned for them, and they'll be able to register and be an official TWU student. As for getting help from financial aid services, we always have like a booth at check-in at the check-in point during orientation, and if your orientation falls on a weekday, you're more than welcome to visit them. Wherever they're located, wherever what office you need to is located. So like you can go to ID services, financial aid, the scholarship office, just any resources that you need. And of course, if you're unable to see them in person, you can also give them a call or email them at finaid@twu.edu. So that's just the email for financial aid. So there's that.
Okay, no, yeah. Honestly, I feel like that's pretty great because like whenever well, I'm a first generation student, so whenever I was entering to the TWU, I know I had a lot of questions and I would like keep on calling and there's like a certain amount of questions that you remember whenever you're on the phone and it's
Yeah.
like ask them in person and like actually like have them there and like ask more questions. I feel like that's literally great. But now like moving on.
Yeah.
Like sign up for orientation and like is there any requirements that you need to do to like for orientation?
Okay, well, first you must be accepted into TWU, and then you should submit like all of your documents beforehand. But if not, don't worry. Like you can also do it during orientation since offices are open during weekdays. So you'll be notified like via email or on Pioneer Portal about needing to register and attend an orientation. And then you just fill out the form online and then wait for your orientation date to come.
Okay, and as mentioned before, orientation is mandatory for um it is
Mhm.
one of going to orientation is one of the requirements to sign up for classes, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, so that's good to know, you guys, because I know that I was like I know that whenever you try to sign up for your classes, it tells you like different requirements that you need to like
Mm-hmm.
complete. So for sure, go to orientation. Now another question I'm pretty sure everybody's wondering, what's the price to attend orientation? Because I do know orientation is not free, and like I know a lot of people like wouldn't want to pay to go to orientation, but I'm pretty sure every campus does this. So
Yeah.
what's the price for orientation?
Well, unfortunately, it may not be free, but it is a flat $200 fee, which goes
Mhm.
towards like all the meals, the t-shirt, like all the materials that you're given at orientation, and it goes for Pioneer Camp. And then it also helps fund many of the first year events that are planned and carry out later, like in the academic year. And then a lot of students get confused on how to pay the fee. So I think it's really important to like point out that students will not be asked to pay the fee beforehand or up front. The $200 fee will show up on their bill once their fall tuition bill comes out. So it will be included in the bill so they don't have to pay separately. And then guests are also able and encouraged to come to orientation. And there will be like important informational sessions for the families. And the cost for each guest is $55, which goes towards their meals, parking, and the program materials.
So once the $200 appear at the bill, they're able to see the bill in the Pioneer portal or where?
Yeah, it'll pop up once like all of your like once your final bill is out. Like you'll pick your classes, and I think usually it's like the 1st or 2nd of August where your actual bill comes out, and it's like the 5,000 or the 6,000 in total that you owe for the semester.
Okay, so yeah, so it would be in the Pioneer portal.
Yes.
Pioneer, by the way, is where your Pioneer portal is essential for everybody. That's where
Mm-hmm.
your classes, you'll access your bill, your TWU mail. So that is something that we require basically to like get started with anything and everything. You'll also need it for the housing portal and everything. So
Right.
do that. Pioneer Portal account. So now let's talk about housing. I know they offer as we said, staying on campus during orientation, like we had mentioned. Since when have they done that?
Well, they've offered housing like during orientation for several years. I know at least 10 years back because I remember my oldest sister staying on campus for orientation here at TW. But about like the specifics, I'm not too sure about that.
Your sister went to TWU or?
Yeah, all both of my sisters went to TW. One majored in education and one majored in business. They both graduated.
Oh wow, that's great. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Oh,
No,
by
yeah.
the way, probably forgot to mention, Ian and I have been friends for like since last year, right?
Yeah, since last spring semester because we met at one of the events that TWU was actually
Oh yeah,
organizing. It was like
like a
the
job.
job fair. Yes, the
Yeah.
job fair. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's I got my TDU influencer job by going to that job fair. So yeah,
Crazy.
So yeah, I just never asked you about your sisters. That's crazy. I
No,
didn't know.
I know. But yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we already talked about staying on campus. In your opinion, what do you think is better, an online orientation or in person? Because I know yours, as you said, it was like half and half.
Yeah.
So what do you think was
Um,
better?
Personally, I think in-person orientation would be better just because it's easier to pay attention and you're oh, hold on. Oh, yeah, because you're paying attention and you're getting like the information kind of like a fun way. You meet new people, you're staying on campus. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much all I got for that one.
Personally, I think in-person orientation would be better just because it's easier to pay attention and like you're like yeah, it's just easier to pay attention because like you're getting the information in a fun way. And I know that like, as I said, being honest, for my orientation, I just skipped through the PowerPoints. And I know it probably sounds bad, but honestly, it's summer and who wants to read a bunch of PowerPoints?
Right.
Well,
Hold on.
so now for another question I know everybody's gonna also have. Do you get to choose the room that you get for orientation?
No, it's actually chosen at random.
And they stay at Parliament or where? Because I know Parliament is all freshmen stay at, right?
Yeah, in years prior, I know my older sister, she stayed in like the towers, and now since like freshman dorms are in Parliament Village, that's where they've been staying for orientation.
Okay. And do you get paired with the roommate? And like if you do get paired with the roommate, are you able to choose your roommate or no?
Okay, so yes, you get paired with a random roommate. And of course, like we try to if there's siblings or relatives attending, we look out for that as well. Like our overall goal is to have you stay with a random roommate, so that you're encouraged to get to know each other without like the pretext of knowing them beforehand. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and for students coming out of town with their parents, you said that they are welcome to like come to orientation, right? But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to like stay on campus, right?
Yeah, so as mentioned before, like students are more than welcome to bring guests. However, we unfortunately do not accommodate overnight stays for guests, so they will have to make arrangements beforehand.
Okay. Okay, that's nice to know. Well, I feel like we pretty much provided them a lot of information already. So I'm pretty sure that'll conclude our episode. Thank you, Anai, for joining me. It was
Of
really nice
course.
to have you on our first ever episode. We are so excited to launch. It's something we've been working on for a while. So we're very excited. Thank you for accepting our invitation. You did great, and I
Oh,
hope
thank you.
all liked it. I'm thanking y'all for joining this podcast of ours, this journey of ours. We're sorry if it didn't sound so great or we messed up. We're just trying to keep every episode goes by. So thank you for listening, you guys. Thank you for joining me again, Anai, and until next time.
Bye,
Goodbye, Pioneer.
guys.